In this video, I'm going to show you 5 creative video ideas that you can try right now using just your phone. These are all really easy to do and deliver incredible results. I'm going to walk you through each one, give you some tips so that you can create your own. A big thanks to Epidemic Sound for sponsoring this video. This is where I'll be getting all of my music and sound effects to really help bring these videos to life. Okay, let's start super simple with the finger snap. You'll need 2 shots for this effect, but both are nice and easy. Now, the key here is to change the environment. The bigger the change, the better the effect. You could, for example, start with a messy room, snap your fingers and make it tidy. You could change locations, just make sure your environment changes. For the first shot, show your environment. Bring your hand into the center of frame and snap your fingers. Then tidy the room or change locations, whatever you want to do, and then do the exact same action. Use the grids on your phone to help line things up, then simply cut these 2 clips together at the point in which you snap your fingers, and voila, video magic. Okay, number 2, reverse your shots. Now, this sounds easy, and it is, but with a bit of creativity and the right shots, you can get some mind-bending results. Take this shot here, for example. I framed it so that I'm stood facing this reservoir. Not particularly interesting, but if I now walk backwards through the frame and play this shot in reverse, we now have this, a shot of me walking forwards as the water defies gravity, creating a mesmerizing effect. And there are a number of ways that you can play with this effect. Take this toy car rolling off my hand, for example. Not particularly interesting, but play it in reverse with some sound effects, and we now have a self-driving car. The edit is easy with this one. You've just got to reverse your shot. It's the idea that's important. Keep it simple and make it look like you have superpowers, or get a bit more creative and walk through the streets of New York in reverse. Endless possibilities with this one. Be sure to give it a try. Okay, number 3, the building jump. This one looks really impressive and is surprisingly easy to do. You're going to need 2 shots for this one of your building and one of you jumping in front of that building. Now, find a building with a flat roof for this, because this will make the effect so much easier to pull off. Also, make sure your camera is low to the ground and stays nice and still between each shot. Turn your phone upside down if you have to. This will get your lens closer to the ground. The lower your camera is to the ground, the easier this trick will be to pull off. Also, when you land, try to land so that you're filling a large part of the frame. Now, you're going to need some editing software for this one. I recommend using CapCut because it's free. I will link it below. And the first thing we're going to do is import both of our shots, our shot of the building and our shot of us jumping. We're going to select the clip of our building and then hit overlay. This will then place the shot of us jumping on top of our shot of the building. We're then going to select mask and horizon. Now, really importantly here, we want to invert this clip so that the bottom half of our body is removed. We can then move this masking line so that it lines up with the top of our building. This is why using a building with a flat roof makes this easier. We're then going to scroll to the point at which our feet are at the highest point, about here. And we're then going to shorten our shot of the building to this exact point. You can then export your video and you have this. There are a number of different ways that you can use this effect. Try adding sound effects as you jump. Try jumping over cars or appearing from behind buildings. Get creative with it and have some fun. Now, what you've probably noticed by now is that with all of these techniques, I'm using music and sound effects to really help bring them to life. As standalone clips, they look okay, but add some music and some well-chosen sound effects and we can take them to a whole new level. For example, let's take this finger snap transition. Here is the raw clip with natural sounds. Yes, not great. So let's make this way more engaging. I'm going to download a finger snap sound effect, a riser, as well as a soft layer of music. And by simply adding these 3 elements, we now have this. So if you're looking for some music and sound effects for your videos, then I highly recommend checking out Epidemic Sound. I've been using them for years. They are my go-to place for music and sound effects. They have a huge archive of different tracks that are all really easy to find, which saves you a ton of time, by the way. Having access to a huge library of professional music and sound effects is what's going to make your videos stand out, and it's a hugely important part of the process. Let's take this building jump, for example. Here's the original clip, no music and sound effects. Now let's grab a whoosh sound effect, effect, some kind of an explosion for when I land, and we now have this. Epidemic Sound have just about every sound effect you could possibly need for your projects. All of the sound effects in this video have come from Epidemic Sound. As a content creator, it's important to have the tools in order to create. If you're looking to give your videos a certain style, mood, or emotion, then music and sound effects is one of the best ways to do it. Epidemic Sound offer a free 7-day trial to anyone that uses the link in my description, so be sure to use it if you haven't already. I will link it below. Okay, moving on to the next creative idea. I like to call this one the fake drone. Great for giving your videos more production value, this one, and you don't need to break the bank. You just need to get your phone to an elevated position. Grab a broom handle and some tape if that's all you've got. The goal here is to get your phone as high off the ground as possible. Take this shot in the rain, pushing through some trees, for example. Instant production value. Now, if you do have any kind of budget, then I recommend investing in a phone holder and extension pole like this. You can pick these up pretty cheap on Amazon, and they make this effect a lot easier. Also, perspective is crucial for this one. Take this shot here, for example, pushing forward over these two benches. It looks okay, but lacks a bit of perspective. But as soon as we add some people to a shot like this, we get much more perspective, and the height of our camera is emphasized. Take this shot of a couple sat on the bench whilst this lady walks her dog. This shot feels much more drone-like. And if you really want to push things when it comes to faking drone shots, then try a 3-meter long extension pole like this one here. It's a little bit pricey, but gets the job done. And if you're still struggling to get nice, smooth shots, you can always add a smartphone gimbal to this setup. This will really help ensure smoother shots, and will also enable you to get shots starting low to the ground, which then rise up, adding much more production value. So grab your phone, grab an extension pole, and start faking some drone shots. Okay, number 5, the hyperlapse. Great as standalone clips or sprinkled into a sequence. These moving time lapses give your shots pace and energy. For this, we're going to open our camera app and select time lapse. I'm going to use my wide angle lens for this. I'm going to tap and hold the screen to lock focus and exposure, hit record, and start walking. Now, when you shoot these clips, they will look shaky and terrible, but don't worry because your phone will speed them up and smooth them out. Walk for at least 60 seconds with these shots and use the grids on your phone to help frame your focal point. I'm going to walk all the way around this lighthouse, pull back and stop recording. The phone then works its magic and we get this. I find simply pushing forward works well for this, particularly in busy urban environments, or try orbiting around your focal point. Take this building, for example. I'm going to frame this shot so that the building remains in the center of frame as I walk. This creates a really dynamic shot with your focal point in a fixed position. Or try cutting from a wide to a tight shot. Start your shot using the wide angle lens and walk, then stop recording, switch to a tight lens, and then start recording and walking again. You can then cut these two clips together in the edit. So do let me know what you think of these ideas. I would love to see your results, by the way. Do share them and tag me. I will link all of my socials below, as well as the free trial to Epidemic Sound. Go grab yourself some music and sound effects, and if you'd like to learn more about smartphone filmmaking and content creation, then be sure to check out these 2 videos here. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.